Hey, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Attempted Optimism, where we're just trying our very best. I'm Justin.
I'm Ben. So let's get the elephant out of the room, in the room. I don't know how this works.
Let's bring the elephant into the room,
Okay.
so that we can point it out.
So we're attempting optimism, which means we're going to start out very poorly for this, which is
We
iTunes.
salty.
So we've been waiting when we did our first podcast episode, which was now 5 weeks ago, because this will be episode 4, and we missed an episode. So 5 weeks ago, the day that we made that podcast, we submitted to iTunes for approval. And you have to wait for iTunes to approve it. Yeah, that night, that Sunday night. And so we waited, and it says, like, they send you an email. It's basically like, in 2 to 3 weeks' time, you should be approved. And then I looked online, and it was like, normally they're back with you, like, within a week or 2 at the latest. So, like, we've been waiting and waiting. I check the email every time we make a new podcast. I check iTunes, like, every other day just to see if it's on there.
While we cry.
And, yeah, small tears out of our eyes. And so we are still not approved. I don't know how you get approved at this point. I don't know if you resubmit or something.
They just don't like us.
But at the same time, I keep getting emails from Apple that are like, "Dear podcast creator, thank you for blah, blah, blah. Dear podcast creator, during this COVID-19 crisis." So I don't get the benefits of my podcast actually being on iTunes. But what I do get is spam emails from Apple being like, "Guess what? You know what? You are a podcast creator.
You the real one."
So that's the bad note we're going to start off on. We're still waiting. I made sure to try to, like, I don't know, call Apple support. I don't know if that's a thing. Do people do that for podcasts? Never done this before. Nobody knows.
Who knows?
Anyways, that's neither here nor there. What is here nor there is the fact that we are going to play another game tonight, because we've talked a lot about, like, heavier content, I feel like, and kind of going with some more deep things, and we're definitely going to get to that at some point, but I think right now we both can probably agree that the world is heavy enough, like, it's dark enough, like, we just need something fun to do. It's something enjoyable, because, like, the really deep content is not something that's like, ooh, let's put a smile on my face. Like, we still got to go to work tomorrow, so, like, we need something.
If we're trying to stay positive,
yeah,
this ain't it.
Yeah, if we do that content, we will not be calling this attempted optimism anymore. It will just be negative. That's the whole podcast title, negative.
Yeah.
So we're going to do another game tonight. You want to talk us through what the game is, since you're the one that kind of, like, came up with it, came out of your brain?
Yeah, so I Googled what to do.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Nope, I didn't do
Not
that. No, so it kind of goes along with, I think when we're in our best elements, I think we like to talk about things that we like.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of led me along the lines of thinking, like, I mean, we're both very arrogant, stubborn people.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Facts.
Right?
Yeah, I agree.
So surely we're know-it-alls. Surely we're the type of people that, think we know enough to be dangerous, apologists in a certain extent to certain categories of interests that we have, and I think we're still in the phase of our podcast where it's like we're still trying to figure things out. We're still trying to figure out, what our audience will be and what our audience is, and also, letting people know kind of who we are while we're doing this, because if they don't like us after 5 episodes, probably don't listen to the podcast anymore, because we don't change very often. We're pretty stubborn people. So we're trying to think of, in terms of getting a wide scope of who we are and what we like, just kind of going along the interests. What we decided to do tonight is that we're going to do sort of a trivia quiz, and before you hit the stop button, before you do it, we're doing some trivia based on certain things that we have interests in. Now, you may not have an interest in some of the things that we have interest in, but hopefully this will be entertaining nonetheless. As we kind of try to navigate. So basically, what this game is it's a game of gotchas. So what I asked Ben to do was think of 3 categories that he would say he's an expert in, and and I gave him 3 categories that I think I'm an expert in. Okay. And so we're going to try to quiz each other on how much we know about certain interests that we have. Now, these are not all inclusive lists. No. We are much deeper people than 3 categories a person, but here we go. Do you want to start with your and what the way I think we should do it is because we definitely don't talk enough about this before we start it, but is that we hit a category and quiz the other person on it, and then swap persons.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. Yeah.
So does that make sense?
We'll go every other one. Well, you'll do a category for me. I'll do a category for you. And these are pre-selected categories. So we talked to each other earlier in the day. We said pick 3 things that you're interested in, and then we were tasked with coming up with questions that we. There'll be some easier questions probably, and then there'll be some maybe I got you questions or stump questions. But
I'm worried that mine are too hard.
Well, here's the thing up front. I'm just going to be real with everybody, and I'm sure there's a lot of people like my wife would be able to tell you about this. Like I am a master at nothing. But I'm definitely one of those people that does enough research on every topic in the world that if I come into conversation with somebody, I can pretend that I know what I'm talking about.
Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till I make it, which is not really a great thing because then once I get past
because we're pastors.
No, because for instance, I've had these real weird situations where I'm I know enough about cars that I could talk to you about a car, but then once they start talking about engines and stuff, you just got to pretend, or you got to be up front nah, I don't know what you're talking about at all. So, and then the second thing is I'm not great at tests. I thrived in school honestly, I don't know how I graduated, if we're real. But I did my homework. I showed up, failed all my tests, made it through. So this could be really bad for me as far as what I'm an expert at. So on that note, I think I should start with one of your categories. So you have to answer first. Okay, so I'm going to let you choose out of your 3 categories what you want to start with. So you chose Star Wars as your first one. Star Wars movies is what you said, not books. You chose World of Warcraft, and you chose Tolkien's Legendarium, which is a word that nobody's ever heard about until now.
Unless you're a big fan of the Legendarium. Okay, it's what they call the written material that Tolkien wrote.
Yeah, I had to look it up. Okay, the word first. Then I had to look up things about it. So which category do you want first?
I feel like we should get the hardest one out of the way because I know that you actually looked up stuff from Tolkien. So I'm probably going to fail miserably on this one. So let's start.
I put a lot of work into this. So okay,
you did. You probably going to surprise me.
All right. Question number 1. We'll just start off super easy. Question number 1: what group was Tolkien a part of?
Oh, shoot, I know this one too, but I can't remember what it is.
I got a bonus if you can name at least 3 members of that group.
Yeah.
This could be really bad if this is the easiest.
This is really bad because I don't remember what it is. I don't remember what it's called. Yeah, come back to it.
Okay, so we'll come back to that.
Let me Google it.
No Google. Question 2. What was the name that Tolkien used in his Legendarium to refer to angels or even gods?
Oh, that is the Ainur.
Okay, all right.
The gods. So basically, it's kind of the deities are. There's Eru Iluvatar, right? The creator of all this stuff.
Yep.
And then there's the Valar, which are the deities, and then you have the Maya or the Ainur.
Okay, nice. All right, see, 1 down. So you're 1 for 1 for now.
Should we be keeping score?
Yeah. You want to keep score for us? I have nothing in front of
me. I'm going to do this really ASMR thing.
Oh, did you just tear a piece of paper?
I sure did, man. I got the big paper right here.
I got you as well. I got it on my computer right in front of me. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'll let you do it then because you're on the computer.
Question 2.
Question.
This is technically question 2 because we'll come back to the other one.
Right.
Question 2. According to critics, Tolkien made one of the boldest narrative decisions in the history of literature in Return of the King. Do you know what that bold narrative decision was?
Bold narrative decision
in in the Return of the King, the last book of the trilogy.
Shoot! It was the look on your face that told me this one was going to be tough. Yeah. So bold. Let me think. Bold narrative decisions. Had to be something like It was something to do with.
This is gonna be so good.
Was it something to do with not killing off a character?
It was not. And this is fascinating. I did a ton of research and I didn't know anything about any of these, so this is like I put work in on this. You want to know? Do you want me to like give you the answer if you don't get it?
Let me throw a guess out there, and that was Frodo wanting to keep the ring. I don't know.
No. Okay, so the bold narrative decision he made is he changed the perspective of who the main character was from Frodo to Sam at the last part of the
I see.
So Sam became the main protagonist of the story. So much so that he became the one that was actually the most important as far as decisions made. All right.
Which, to be fair, Sam was always the most important.
He really was.
I don't know why I'm doing Trump right now.
If we walk back through it, you can see that he's the most important.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If that one was hard, then these are going to get worse. Okay.
Oh, jeez.
And this is going to be fun. This is a fun question.
Yeah.
Why was the Silmarillion originally rejected by Tolkien's publishers? It's not a huge, like, in detail thing. Why did they reject the book?
Wasn't it the creation, like all of the like getting through all the creation of stuff and how long it took to get through the whole first couple segments of the book?
Okay, I'm going to give this one to you because they argued that it was too obscure, as in they didn't think the story would ever be readable. And then,
because there's, oh my gosh, and then they get into the elves and it's like...
And that's where the second part comes in. They also said that it was too Celtic. And because he was somewhat of a Christian type writer, they felt like it was too Celtic, too old school, God style. So we'll give you that one. You're 2 for 3.
Thanks.
Yeah. In what year did Tolkien begin his Legendarium?
Oh, jeez. It was really early. It was really early. Because it was before he started it before the war.
Well, actually, I don't know when the war started.
So we're looking at 19.
He's gonna get a random guess in right here, and he's gonna get it sometime.
1917.
Oh, you were so close.
How close was I?
So 1914 is the original. He started doing paintings and poems. And 1918 is when his first official writing came out. So you were close. Do you want to go back to the original one, which was the group that he was a part of?
Oh, shoot. I'm going to kick myself when you tell me what it is, but go ahead and tell me what it is.
Inklings.
Yeah, I knew it.
And I'll give you the point if you can name three other members that were.
Oh, there's not a shot. There's
100% a shot. Think about it. Who was he close with?
Bro, I don't know.
I'm so disappointed in you. Even I knew this one. Come on. I know
what was it?
C.S. Lewis.
I was thinking that in my head, and then I was like, I don't want to say that and then be an idiot.
This is where you're going to kill yourself. He was a part of it, so I would have counted that as one of the 3 members. And then his son, Christopher Tolkien, was in it.
Ouch!
You would have had that one. Okay. And then this is bonus question.
That makes me sad.
Bonus question. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. So I'm going to wait 4 seconds because we're almost to a good solid 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Can you name all the original Fellowship? Within 30 seconds, go.
There's Aragorn, Boromir, Gandalf, Gimli, Legolas, Merry, Pippin, Sam, and Frodo.
Okay, got it. Nailed it.
Okay,
so round 1, you went 3 for 6. So
three for 6. 50%. Sheesh.
All right, 50% on your first round.
That's a failing grade.
Yeah, well, it's going to be worse for me. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know about that. Because I thought mine were hard. Those were tough.
Dude, I tried to give some easy ones. I thought the Inklings would be easy for you, and it turns out that was a hard one. So,
yeah.
All right.
I think your screen cut out for me a little bit, but you're back.
Okay. No, we're good.
You're back. All right. Okay. So the first category, what would you like to do between soccer, RuneScape, and comics?
Let's start off bad and go soccer because this is very broad and I don't know how bad this could be for me. I
tried to give you some of them in there.
I'm a solid 0 for 6 on this. I can already tell.
All right. Here's the first one. This is the warm up one. Okay.
Oh, this isn't good.
How do you spell soccer?
How do I spell it? It depends on what country you're from, but I would spell it FOOTBALL. What did I get? You got it right there. Yes, 1 for 1.
That was going to be my gotcha. I'm so
FUTBOL.
Right. So yeah, good job.
Gotcha.
That was going to be my gotcha, but I'm actually really proud of you there.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right, now they get tough.
Any sports fan very angry right there.
Yeah, there you go. Let's start here. What football club?
Okay.
Terms I got. What football club holds the current record for most World Cups won?
World Cups won?
World Cups.
Oh. Man,
the answer is 4. So who has 4 is basically what I'll ask you for.
That's tough because my instinct would say Brazil, but Germany has to be so close to that number, and I just don't know which it would be. Or it could be Spain. This is terrible. This is horrible because there's so many. There's so many that have won a lot.
Yeah.
France is also up there in the numbers. Is there a tie somewhere in here? Is there a definitive winner?
There is a definitive winner. As far as what I saw, and it might be that this is only European teams.
Okay, so that might help me. Then I'm going to go against my gut reaction and go with Spain because I felt like Germany has less.
And what is the name of Spain's team? Is it just Spain?
It's the España football. I don't know. Are we talking about World Cups or Champions Leagues?
World Cup. FIFA World Cup.
Oh, then it would just be Spain. Who you got there?
I have Real Madrid.
Okay, so that would be Champions League. Champions League. Oh, so I know what you're talking about. So there's a.
Did I pooch the question?
No. There's a Club World Cup, and there's a World Cup. World Cup is countries. Club World Cup is teams. Club World Cup is definitely Real Madrid because they've won like a bajillion of all of the major trophies.
Right.
World Cup would be one of the ones.
I think I saw somewhere where they have 4. They're leading with 4 club World Cups, and then they actually have like 17 titles or something that they have total.
Yes. Okay. Well,
so that'd be the team I root for.
No, don't root for them, please. I don't know.
It'd be like rooting for TSN.
I'm gonna go 1 for 2. I'm gonna count.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So along similar lines. What are the home colors of the FC Barcelona soccer uniform?
Traditionally blue, red, and yellow could be probably counted in there, but that's what I would say. It's like a blue and a maroonish, and then yellow is their third color, the accent color.
Yeah. So it's blue and red, which is their home color, and the yellow is the
Yep.
So you got that one as well?
Yes. 2 for 3. I thought this was going to be...
I'm just handing these to you.
I'm just happy to be getting some points here.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one is Anfield is the home of which English Premier club?
The worst one, Liverpool.
Isn't that Brian's team?
No. Brian is a Tottenham fan, and he'll be very upset
that
you said that on podcast. Okay.
Look, he's just going to have to get over it. And I don't even think he's going to listen to this anyway.
Liverpool is the arch rival of Manchester United, which is my team. So
okay. I actually have a Man U question in here.
Oh, that's going to be the one I'm going to be sad if I mess up, which I probably will.
Yep.
Give me a good one.
Okay. According to the official FIFA rule book, how long can a goalkeeper hold on to the ball for?
10 seconds.
Is that your final answer?
I have no idea, but yes, I've never played goalkeeper in my life.
Okay, it's actually 5 seconds.
5 seconds, really?
Yeah, 5 seconds.
No wonder they get yellow cards all the time for holding onto the ball. 5 seconds is like... I've never seen a goalkeeper hold it for 5 seconds. They're always holding it for like a solid...
It seems like a long time.
They're holding onto that thing forever.
Yeah.
That was okay, 3 for 5.
Okay. Now, which of these players... Which of these players has never played for Manchester United? Never played...
Never.
For Manchester United. Okay. We have Eric Cantona.
Okay.
Bobby Carlton.
Okay.
Ryan Riggs. Mark Hughes. And Bobby Moore. Eric Cantona.
Yeah.
Bobby Carlton. Ryan Riggs. Mark Hughes. And Bobby Moore.
Okay, here's the problem. I'm gonna toss out my thoughts here. First of all, I'm not sure if you wrote all those names down right, so it could be wrong if I'm wrong. Okay,
that's fair.
It's definitely Bobby Charlton. So if it's Carlton, he definitely did not play. Is there an H in there?
Oh, there's a Charlton. Yeah.
Okay.
I always thought it was Carlton.
Charlton.
Yeah.
The third one, Ryan Riggs.
Is that supposed to be Biggs?
It's supposed to be Giggs. Ryan Gigg. So if he plays,
it's possible.
If that's a choice, so it's definitely not him. If it's Ryan Riggs, okay.
Okay.
If it's Ryan Giggs, then he did play for Manchester United.
So between Eric Cantona, Mark Hughes, and Bobby Moore.
I'm gonna go with Bobby Moore because Eric Cantona and Mark Hughes did play for Manchester United. So if I'm wrong, then there's a solid chance you wrote one of those down wrong.
I definitely messed up two of them, but you're correct. Bobby Moore did play for West Ham, Fulham.
Fulham.
How do you say that? Yep. San Antonio Thunder and Seattle Sounders.
Sounders. Yeah. This is.
I don't know.
This is actually very enjoyable. To try to
because you're trying
to
the real quiz is me and so there's a couple of these that I actually not the soccer ones, but I did have to look up the
pronunciation.
I did have to look up like RuneScape or comic book. I did have to look up some pronunciations on that one.
Okay.
So
is that your round one?
So what was your final score on that?
4 of 6.
5?
4 of
okay.
6. Yeah.
4 of 6.
All right. So you're 3 of 6 going into round 2.
Okay.
So
okay.
I'm gonna choose for you now because I want to leave Star Wars for last because I feel like that will be the most enjoyable and also
it's probably gonna make my sister sad and her husband sad. Is probably what it's gonna be.
Probably because I know they have a Star Wars podcast. Shout out. I don't know the name of the podcast, but you can do it.
It is Nerd Herder Podcast. Star Wars : Nerd Herder. Well, I'll put it in the description.
Yeah,
or something.
so that we can shout them out. But this probably will. So we're gonna go World of Warcraft for you. Okay.
Yeah. Oh Lord, here we go.
And what's interesting about this is so I've talked to you about it. I've talked to Brian about it, who was with us last week. I never played World of Warcraft ever until like this last year when they re-released.
Vanilla.
We thought it'd be fun, and then it was not fun for me. But I actually knew some of these as I was going through, which I was proud of myself for knowing, just because of how big World of Warcraft was.
Sure.
It was just such a glable phenomenon.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway. But I knew some of these, so we're gonna start off super easy. Like this should be a walk in the park for you. Okay.
Okay.
Hopefully. What year did World of Warcraft Classic come out?
Classic or the original game?
Yes.
Because Classic came out
but
a couple years ago.
The problem is that they've started referring to the first game now as Classic, which is very confusing as I was looking on the internet.
Unless you're a player, in which case it's vanilla.
Which, of course,
vanilla.
So
vanilla WoW.
When did the
came
original?
Out 2004.
Correct. Nice. You nailed it. All right. So they should give you some points here.
And the interesting thing about that is I did not play WoW until Wrath of the Lich King came out, which was like 2008 or something, 2007, 2008. And the thing about it is, my brothers and I, we played Orcs and Humans, which is the original Blizzard game, which is the original, Warcraft, Orcs and Humans. We played Warcraft 2. We played Warcraft 2, the Tides of Darkness, and then we played Warcraft 3. Warcraft 3 was in development at the same time as World of Warcraft, and it's a story that happens before the events of World of Warcraft. So Warcraft 3 is what happens before that.
So glad I didn't put that question in my thing, because that was one of the ones I looked at.
Right. So they were in development at the same time. I played Warcraft 3, but I never touched World of Warcraft because it didn't appeal to me as a game because I like RTSs until I had a mentor of mine kind of draw me into it, and then it became an addiction in my life that I needed to get rid of.
And it costs, so $15 a month is a lot of money for an addiction.
So it's a subscription game. You pay $15 a month.
Yep.
You pay for the original game.
Yep.
And then there's a whole bunch of services and microtransactions they have inside of the game, and it's just like
exactly why I never played it. I was not paying $15 a month. Okay.
Who could?
In what world? Question 2. In what world does World of Warcraft take place?
Azeroth.
Crushed it. You're killing them. You're 2 for 2 on this category.
That's right.
All right. Next. How many expansion packs has World of Warcraft produced How many has there been for it? And I'll give you a bonus point if you can name 3 of them.
Oh, well, in order to tell you how many there are, I have to name all of them. So,
of course.
So there's Vanilla WoW, which is the original game, and then you have Burning Crusades.
Yep.
And then you have Wrath of the Lich King.
Yep.
And then you have Cataclysm.
Yep.
And then you have Mists of Pandaria.
Yep. And
then you have Warlords of Draenor.
Yep. 5 for 5.
And then you have which one came after Warlords of Draenor? It was Battle for Azeroth. Right? No, it was Legion, and then Battle for Azeroth. Yep. Now they're coming up with Shadowlands.
You are 8 for 8.
Is 8.
Man, look at this guy.
I mean, bro, let me tell you, this took so much of my life that if I don't get all of these questions correct, I'm probably going to climb up to the top of my house and jump off.
No, please don't do that. That's a little.
It's a one story. I'll be all right.
Too far. Yeah, it is a one story. You always take it way too far. All right,
now and to be honest, I'm not climbing up on anything.
No, you're not. It's too much work. In 2007, this is one I knew. I was actually quite proud of myself. In 2007, a series of TV commercials ran for World of Warcraft. Can you name 2 of the actors that were shown in the commercials?
Yeah, so there's Mila Kunis, there's Mr. T.
Okay.
Chuck Norris was involved, I believe.
Okay.
I can't remember anybody else, but I know for those 3 for sure.
There's one that's very, very, I'm not moving on until you get it. It's a big name.
It's a big name.
With a great voice. And it was the best commercial out of all of them.
With a great voice. Is it a singer?
Nope. He's an actor. I'll just tell you, because you already got 2 of the others that I named. William Shatner did one. It was the most...
William Shatner did one?
He did one.
Oh, you know what?
I remember the most. It was so vivid in my brain. All right, so you got that one?
Mr. T's was my favorite. I actually made a night elf character with the mohawk.
Yeah.
And the whole deal, his thing was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a big one. I remember that one as well. Mm-hmm. All right, last question, and I don't know how hard this one will be, but this one was the most interesting. What Emmy award-winning cartoon had an episode inspired by World of Warcraft? It gave you extra information because it's an Emmy award-winning cartoon, which is not
Emmy. So I know that they're. Hang on a second.
Oh, good. We're taking a short intermission as a dog is barking in the background. Such is the life of podcast recording.
My apologies.
All good.
All right. So Emmy award-winning TV show.
Yeah, but it's also a cartoon. So I give you.
It's South Park for sure. South Park did it, and as well as Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, there was actually quite an extensive list of TV shows and books and even comic books that have made World of Warcraft themed things. And so, but South Park was the one that was the most. Yeah, because
that's the one with and it's become a meme now in Blizzard stuff. Is the guy that's kind of leaning over the well overweight, acne and all that kind of stuff, bald with a beard. Hang on a minute.
Oh, wait a second.
Oh, shoot. Is it me?
You got all the World of Warcraft fans right there.
Yeah,
got him. Okay. All right. So you went big on that round. You're now 9 for 11. Close the gap because I gave you a bonus question that I didn't count against you. So 9 for 11 after round 2.
I'm going to do the thing that I think is going to be the most difficult one for last for you, which is comics. Okay. So I'm actually going to go ahead and do your video game,
my online game that I was loving,
which is RuneScape. And I think most of it, not all of it, but most of it is OSRS, which is old school RuneScape. Yep.
Okay.
So
this could be really bad. My brain's already blanking.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 questions for this one. Let's do some warm up. What is the name of the starting zone for OSRS?
Tutorial Island.
Tutorial Island, which is, go ahead.
And it's the absolute worst thing in any video game ever created. Yeah. Also, I just watched a speed run of it the other day, and somebody finished Tutorial Island in 8 seconds. And that used to take me like half a day, so I am genuinely confused. 8 seconds.
I'm suspicious.
Look it up after we're done with the podcast.
Yeah, I'll have to do that. I'll have to do that. What I love about RuneScape, especially OSRS, is that there are so many areas that are just named for, like pulled out of somebody's hat somewhere. Yes. Like there's an island to the far north called Miscellaneous Island or something. Miscellaneous Island. Yep. Yeah, Miscellanea, that's what it is.
Yep.
And there's just like a ton of places that are just named like that, like Dark Island, Wizard's Tower.
It's just a bunch of British people sat down and were like, why come up with names and you can just make it run off of it?
Azeroth, no thank you. So, yeah. All right, so there's that one. I'm going to hit you with some heat here, and I'm going to ask you, how many skills are there in OSRS, Old School RuneScape? How many skills are there?
See, I knew you were going to ask this, and I knew I was going to have to think, and that's where my brain hurts. So give me a second. A
little bit of pepper on it.
If I type them out, I'll be able to figure it out. So
if I Google it,
attack, strength, defense. Then we got HP, range, mage. And this is when it starts getting crazy. Woodcut, so woodcutting, fire making. Let's just get herb lore, thieving, agility, fishing, cooking. This is a lot of work to think about right off the top of my head here.
Yep.
Prayer. Yep. I mean, I just played like earlier today. This should not be as hard as it is.
Yeah.
But it is. That's not nearly enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That is not. That's half. Maybe. Like maybe half. This is so much work. I'm trying to think of it in a different way. I'm trying to use my brain.
Trying to picture all the little symbols on that. So for those that have no idea what we're talking about while you're thinking about it, inside RuneScape, there's a whole bunch of panels and windows that you can pull up on your heads-up display. And one of them is your skills, and it shows you how leveled up in a skill you are, and it's just got a certain random number of little boxes that have like little pictures on them, like a bow and arrow kind of thing and all that kind of stuff. So
I genuinely cannot function right now. My brain cannot compute.
Yeah, hit you with the what group was Tolkien in?
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those questions that like you know the answer, but you can't think of it
because you're just on the spot.
It's not so. I could be wrong. I'm gonna take a estimated guess and say 26.
That's your final answer?
Yes.
It's 23, but you were very close.
Yeah, I could not. Yeah. My brain totally blanked. Yeah. 23. Yeah. I knew it was in the 20s, and the only reason I know that, again, this is like you've played a game for hundreds and hundreds of hours. I knew it was in the 20s, but I knew it was less than 28 because that's the backpack space. So like I knew that it had to be less than that because of the way the bars are set up. Could not think of it. But I just recently got back into Old School RuneScape because, and this may be one of the questions we get to, but like in 2008 or something, maybe even 2006, they transitioned to what's now called RuneScape 3, and they made a whole another game, basically, in the long run. It's kind of like, I think, what World of Warcraft did. It was meant to be like everybody moves from the original game to the new game. And originally everybody did, and then they just realized, like, this is not as enjoyable as the classic version of the game that we played when we were kids. And so
this is the same thing that happened with World of Warcraft is you mainstream enough stuff and people miss the intricacies.
Well, and that's like really what they did. They really made it a pay to play game. If you wanted to pay for it, you could make your game as easy as you wanted to make it. And everybody liked the old grind, hundreds of hours spent on one skill. And so everybody moved back to classic RuneScape, and it actually has more viewership than the newer version, and more I don't know if more players, but definitely more faithful players. So but I made the transition over and totally maxed out that character and spent hundreds of hours playing the newer version.
All 23 skills.
No, actually they made more. They added like a solid 5 more skills. Like they just turned it into a whole different game. And then recently I was like, I miss the old school, like the me in 2004 as a 14-year-old, or me in 2002 as a 12-year-old playing the game, trying to enjoy the fun of it. So, so I'm just now recently back to the old school.
Yeah.
All right, so I did not get that one. I'm 1 for 2 in this category, I think.
All right. So this is something that you hit me with, so I'm going to hit you with one of these. No. What year?
2001.
was okay. You got it. It was what year was the game released? And it was 2001.
Not only was it 2001, it was like October or November 2001.
Oof. I think I was 11.
Yeah, we were both.
I was 11 when that. Yep, we were both 11, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was the year I started playing it because I played it. I played it early.
If I would guess, you probably started 2012, unless you remember Rune Armor being purple, which very few players do.
Yeah, it was purple and glowy, wasn't it?
Okay, so maybe you did start in 2000.
Yeah. No, I think
maybe or late 2011.
I think I was 11, and I think I remember because the only places there were the original cities, which was Training Island, Varrock, Lumbridge, Draenor Village, and
could have been Falador.
Falador, that's the one.
Yeah, so
I always want to say Falcon something.
It was this tiny island, so yeah.
Yeah, and I think I played it from that moment until they introduced Karamja.
Karamja, I don't know, however you want to.
Yeah, it's like South America or whatever.
Yeah, basically, it's a big island.
Yeah. So I think I stopped around the time that they I had just gotten my guy to go there or something. But yeah, okay. So another kind of question along those lines is, what is the developer / publisher of RuneScape?
Jagex.
You got it.
Yep.
You got it, Jagex.
I paid a lot of money to Jagex through the years. So if I forgot that, Dog's not having it tonight. That's okay. Such is life. I've paid a lot of money to Jagex, and so if I didn't know them, they would be ashamed of me.
So. I got you. I think we just know about our addictions and our games. We just know a lot about that.
How many skills there are?
Well, there's another one that might get you as well. Okay. So the last two questions are something that I love, something that's near and dear to me, and it is geological. Nope. Geographical questions for the world map. Every game I play, I pull up a world map.
Of course you do. I've seen you create maps, so I'm not surprised.
That's my jam. So where in the world would I find Eagle's Peak?
So Eagle's Peak is almost as far northwest on the map as you can go. It's right underneath the I always say the wrong word, but the Pescarius fishing colony. It's like a little bit southwest of there. And the only reason I knew that is because I just finished a quest up there. So let's go Eagles. Yeah,
it's the Pescatarius
it's
fishing village. And that just goes back to like the way they name things. There it is.
Yeah, they're not even trying.
And then the last question is similar to this, and I'm sure you'll get it, is what is the Elven region west of Kandarin called?
Elven region west.
West of Kandarin.
Oh, what is it called? Let me think for a second.
Okay.
So there could be multiple regions. I'm gonna go with the biggest city, which is a more recent introduction to old school RuneScape, and a further back introduction to RuneScape 3, and it's called like Privdanius or something, and it's a big elven city. And it's the most controversial thing they've ever added to RuneScape 3. I don't know anything about old school RuneScape, but it's the most controversial thing they ever added to RuneScape 3. And the reason was because once you hit a skill threshold in RuneScape 3, it is like the cheapest, freest, quickest training of any skill in the game. And it just ruined the experience for everybody. Like, I literally went from, again, nobody cares, so I don't know why I'm telling you this, but I care.
I care.
I went from, like, level 87 thieving to over 100 million experience, which, for context, level 99, the highest you can go, is 13 million experience. Over 100 million thieving experience in, like, a week, 2 weeks, because it's ridiculous. It's fast training. It's basically everybody's trying to get there. But in the end, it's what ruined the experience of the game for me, because I got all of my skills to 99, which is the max you could go, and then went, well, now what am I supposed to do in this game? And I quit. And so, like, that's why they were so slow to introduce it to old school RuneScape. And I haven't made it to that point, so I don't know if it's the similar, like, ruin the game style threshold, but I would guess it wasn't, because they're very mindful of what they put in the game for old school, because they don't just follow the map that RuneScape 3 did. So,
do you think you can spell the name of the city you said?
Absolutely not, but I will try. My brother was the one in the spelling bees, and he was great at them, and I was the one that never.
Yeah, but these are fake words, my dude. These are so hard.
He would still be able to do them.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna start. Just tell me as soon as I'm wrong, so I don't embarrass myself. Just be like, "You're wrong. Let's move on."
Yeah.
Priff.
Nope.
All right, let's move on. Next.
It's Priffdinnas.
Yeah, I would have been gone the sooner.
And I don't do that. Well. I don't do that to embarrass you. I do that to show people how difficult these names are. Yeah. And I actually have the phonetic pronunciation of this place. Please. It's called Tiranan, which is the area that I was talking about, which is the exact area that you called. So I'm going to give you that. You didn't name it, but you said the city that it's right next to in the world map. So
I definitely would not have had the region either. Like, there's very few regions that I know, because you don't go to regions, you go to specific points on the map.
Right.
Like, I was just happy that you didn't ask, like, where is the, like, what is the main, like, continent of RuneScape called? Because I was, like, in my brain was, like,
I couldn't find it.
I think it's, like, Mishatlin or something. Mishatlin. You can look it up later.
Miss Hot. Okay.
Miss Hatlin.
Whatever happened to Miss Hot?
All right, so...
there you go.
I'm 9 for 12. You're 9 for 11. So... moving into our last categories, and this is Star Wars for you, okay?
Yep.
And you specified movies, and most of mine are around the original 3, because that's really what most people know. So I'm going to start out easy. This is the easy question for you.
I get it wrong. Watch.
What job did Luke's aunt and uncle have on Tatooine? What was their profession?
They were moisture farmers.
Moisture farmers. Good job. Proud of you. Crushed it. See, that was the easy one. I told you. The easy one. Okay? This is a trick question. There's much debate about this in the Star Wars universe, but I want to hear from you as the Star Wars expert.
Yeah.
Who actually shot the first shot? Now, if you're a Star Wars fan, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not, the context is there's a scene in Star Wars A New Hope where Han Solo, Greedo the bounty hunter, they're sitting in a bar, or in a, whatever it's called, cantina, and there's a shot scene that goes off. I want to know who shot the first shot. What you got for me, Justin?
So, obviously, everybody would say Han shot first.
Okay.
The thing that you see, like, laser-wise, frame-wise, Greedo shot first. Greedo missed.
Okay.
But Han shot first. I have to stand by that because that's what everybody says.
Okay. The fun fact is, from cinematographers, that you are wrong. And the reason is that in the original film that was released in whatever year the original Star Wars was, Han shot first, and in the 1997 special edition, the scene was edited so that it appeared Greedo shot first. And that's official. You could argue. This is why I made it. It's a trick question, technically. Yeah. But as a Star Wars fan, I just wanted to see where you were at on the whole deal. Yeah. But they argue that it wasn't towards the edit, until the edit, which most of us probably grew up watching, because the original, again, was quite a few years old by then. When did the original...
The original A New Hope came out in 1977.
Yeah.
So 20 there wasn't a prayer for me to see that, but my dad saw it in theaters opening night.
Yeah, 20 years on, we got the edited version. Again, Justin and I, both born in 1990, would have most likely seen the 1997 special edition first, the edited version. So... Yeah. I'm still not going to give it to you because I'm a hater. But
it's because of the soccer question.
Yeah, exactly. This is what you get. They're very technical. Okay, this is a hard one, and so I'm only asking for a portion of it. So if you can give me a portion of it, I will count it as it. What was the original name of the first Star Wars movie? So we're talking A New Hope. What is the original name? If you can get the whole thing, I'll be over the moon impressed. But
the original name of what now?
A New Hope, the first Star Wars movie.
Oh, I have no idea. It's just Star Wars A New Hope. That's all I know.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a secondary question to see if I can help you with it. What was the original name for Luke? Do you know?
Starkiller.
Okay, So that is a portion of it. I'm not going to give you the point for it, but this is the original title, and this is fascinating to me. The original name for A New Hope was Adventures of Luke Starkiller, as taken from the Journal of the Wills, Saga 1, The Star Wars. What are we talking about?
It's wild.
That's not the name of it.
And I'm willing to bet money that my sister and brother-in-law know
that. Yeah. That's a wild name to me. Okay.
And that's actually why they called the First Order's base Starkiller Base.
Yes.
Kind of
as a throwback. Yeah. So I'll give you like half a point. I'll give you a half a point.
I'll take it. You
at least got Luke. Okay. This is, again, these are hard. I went hard on the last category. What odds does C-3PO give Han for successfully navigating the asteroid field?
It's like, oh my gosh, 1 in 30 million?
No, it's much smaller than that. It's actually a smaller number. It's in the thousands, I'll give you that.
Oh, shoot. See, I don't even know.
Just throw a random number out there.
9,000. 9,000 chance.
3,720 to 1. I told you this is my hardest one because I just felt like Star Wars is a fun one to go out on.
You just felt like, screw that dude.
Yeah, let's make sure he loses this game right at the end.
Yeah.
This one I knew. I'm a Star Wars fan. I've read some books. I've watched all the movies, but I'm not like a huge, like, if you ask me any of these questions, I would not know any of them. I wouldn't have even known the Moisture Farmers one, except for this one. You should know this one. This is an easier one again. Who's the only Rebel pilot to survive all 3 movies in the original trilogy? The only Rebel pilot introduced survives all 3. And I even want to say that he's in the final 3 movies. I could be wrong on that. Actually, I'm pretty sure I'm wrong on that.
Oh shoot! Is it Captain Antilles?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Wedge Antilles. Was he in the final
Wedge Antilles?
Yes,
he is. Okay, yes, he is. As a matter of fact, I don't know if he was in the last movie, but I know he was in the first 2.
Okay.
Because he's the guy. So basically, did you ever watch Heroes? The show Heroes.
Oh,
it was the guy. It was the guy that plays the cop in that one.
Oh, okay, interesting.
He plays Wedge Antilles in the when they get all together with the council and everything, or when in the scenes where General Leia is there.
Heroes is a really good show. That was a throwback. Not very many people have actually seen Heroes or finished Heroes, so I'm impressed by that. I still have.
I haven't finished it.
I actually have all of the seasons.
I don't know where I stopped either.
My DVD case or whatever. So
yeah,
Heroes is good. Okay. This is final question with a bonus, which I don't know how you would know this, but if you do, then you'll get a bonus point. This is a bonus question altogether. Darth Vader's chest piece has something written on it, which I did not know. Do you know what language it's in? So, first of all, I had no idea there was something written on his chest piece at all, but there is something written on it, and it's in a specific language. Do you know what it is?
I don't know what it says, but the language is Sith, isn't it?
Actually, no. So this is what's fascinating.
Really?
Yeah. It's an actual language that we wouldn't be able to speak, but someone could translate. Someone could translate.
Okay. I have no idea.
Okay. Do you want to take a random guess at a language that's actually real, not Sith?
It is probably Greek.
You're not far off. So
symbols is what I was thinking.
What's interesting is
no, it was wingdings. It was wingdings.
It's not wingdings. You're just making stuff up at this point. Where's your sister-in-law and your sister and your brother-in-law?
I don't know. They're going to be so ashamed.
So, and they're probably going to come back and like on all these questions and be like, "No, those are all wrong." So don't let them listen to this part.
Check. These are the answers, you moron. Don't visit us at Christmas.
It's actually ancient Hebrew. Again, this is all according to the internet.
Okay.
I don't know anything about Star Wars. Let's be real. Ancient Hebrew, and it's translated. Again, this could be totally fake, but if it's real, it's really cool. His deeds will not be forgiven until he merits.
That's deep.
That is deep, which is actually really cool. And again, I have no idea if that's true. Absolutely no idea. But it's really
I thought you were going to ask me what it was used for. Sheesh. There's some esoteric script on it. What language is it? It's not what you think it is.
I just went with some really interesting trivia that I found online. Because some of these
interesting.
Those were really cool. I've never heard of that before.
A lot of that stuff I've never even heard.
Some of them you got though. I feel like I should go back and give you the Han Solo one though, because there's such a big debate about it.
Yeah, you probably should.
I'm gonna give you that one. All right, so you end yours. 12 and a half out of 17.
I'll take it.
12 and a half out of 17.
All right.
This is when it gets bad for me, right here.
Your last category, actually, yeah, maybe.
How many questions have you got for me?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5. Okay.
And one of these, I'm sure you're not going to get.
Okay.
Okay, so if I start,
this is gonna start bad. Like as a comic book collector, I'm already ashamed of my answers because I do not know as much about comics as I wish I did, but I do know some. So let's go.
Also, I'll give you 1/10 of a point if you can reach in those boxes and show me comic books that are related to each question. A 10th of a point.
See what I can do here.
All right, so possible. Well, possible half point there.
That's true.
If you get all of them. All right, so let me see. I got to do this in a specific order. Okay. So this one's kind of like a riddle, but it's more a question. But it's a figure out who I am. So I love heights, big cities, and bad jokes. My days are spent getting charged by rhinoceroses, pecked to death by vultures. Let me read the rest of the freaking question, dude.
Next. I'll count my point as 2.
Because I thought this was kind of clever.
Okay, go ahead.
Getting charged by rhinoceros, pecked to death by vultures, charged by hungry lizards. Spider-Man.
Yeah.
All right.
You're so mad.
I'm so upset.
I was that student right there where the teacher's like, it doesn't count because you didn't.
Doesn't count. Wait your turn. Next question. All right. Now these get progressively more difficult, I think. So, comic book fan, in what series did Wolverine first appear as a cameo? In what series did Wolverine first appear as a cameo? The first time he ever appeared was in a cameo.
So these kind of questions are very hard because very rarely does a character show up in the series it will later be in. Mm-hmm. For instance, like Black Panther is first cameoed inside of Fantastic Four. I actually have it hanging on my wall.
Actually, that was very close to a question I threw.
I really wish you would have because I have it hanging on the wall like 2 feet from me, and that would have been way easier than the question you're asking me. So, like, gut reaction for me would be to go with Uncanny X-Men because Uncanny X-Men is like the major X-Men comic book from decades back that he would be later in all the time. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if that's the right answer because this is a very.
I can tell you it's not an X-Men comic.
Okay, and that's what I kind of guessed. The problem is what does it then go to? Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of what would date back far enough for it to be in there. Again, what universe does he cross over in? Not very many in recent days. In modern comic history, he doesn't cross over very often.
So what I'll say to you is there's one character that is not in the X-Men stories that he regularly runs into. At least as far as I know. I've seen multiple different series where this occurs. This kind of crossover.
Then I'm going to go with Incredible Hulk because it dates pretty far back. That would be the most obvious. And
Incredible Hulk 180.
Yeah, that makes sense because he regularly appears. There's nobody else that he really crosses over with other than the Avengers, and the Avengers is not an obvious choice for Wolverine to show up in because it's not the similar style of superhero.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely Incredible Hulk.
All right. Now, let's see if you can figure this out. What comic series and issue, if you can get it, debuted Batman in 1939? Comic book series and the issue.
Comic book series and issue.
I can give you multiple choice.
I don't think I can get either of those, if I'm honest with you.
I can give you multiple choice.
Okay. I mean, I've given you no multiple choices, so I don't feel like that's fair, but you can if you want me.
Well, I think it's good content.
Okay.
All right, so there's Superman number 47.
Okay.
There's Detective Comics number 23.
Okay.
There's The Dark Knight number 1. And there's Detective Comics number 27.
I'm going to be wrong, but I'm going to say Detective Comics 23.
23. You are incorrect, but you were very close.
I have the right series.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Detective Comics number 27 in May of 1939.
I knew it was Detective Comics. I could have told you Detective Comics before you gave me the multiple choices because I knew it was Detective Comics. The number though is way off because
I always get this wrong because I always thought it was 23. I don't know why I thought it was.
Seems like the right number, mostly because it's just a better number than 27. You know,
it's Michael Jordan's number.
Exactly. Thank you. And you don't even like
sport ball. Yeah. He's a bald guy. That's the only thing I like about him.
Yeah.
All right. So the next question, what is this? Number 4. Who drew the first Batman story? Who drew the first Batman story? And I can give you multiple choice for this one as well.
Go for it. Because I'm gonna be wrong.
All right. Gardner Fox.
Okay.
A dude named Bill Finger.
Okay.
A dude named Bob Kane.
Okay.
Or a dude named Lee Falk.
I'm gonna go Bob Kane. But
you are correct.
But Bill Finger, if I remember correct, I don't think that's a made-up name. In fact,
you're correct.
I think Bill Finger helped create Batman.
He wrote it.
Then got ghosted.
Yes.
Because if you look at any credit for Batman, Bob Kane is who is credited. And this happens a lot in comics, and what's really fascinating to me is it's very sad, is that characters are then it's the same thing that happened with Stan Lee in really Marvel in general, but they're not the original creators. In fact, they normally had somebody who did more of the work and got less of the credit because they didn't do a good job of promoting themselves. And so Bob Kane's the same, but Bill Finger is probably the more instrumental person in creating Batman.
Yeah, and in fact, as I was researching this, all 4 of those names are people that worked on it.
Yeah.
And Bob Kane's the only one that's because he hired everybody.
Yep.
Technically, and so Bill Finger's the writer.
Yep.
Lee Falk and Gardner Fox are people that worked and did background inking and all that kind of stuff.
Ink. Yep.
And then Bob Kane was the kind of guy that the name kind of stuck with.
And it's still even a huge even to this day, modern 2020, it is the biggest issue in comics to date, which is the writer will always get credit for a limited run, a series, a character, wherein the artist has a bigger role to play. And even artists, I've watched a lot of interviews with comic book writers, and they are literally I will send a letter that says Batman punches someone, and that's all I've written, and then the artist has to figure out what I want out of that. And it's it's such this sad reality of we like the art. A lot of people choose comics because of the art, but we only credit the writers. And so in 2018, 2017, DC started putting the artists' names first and the writers' names second on comic books to try to offset that. Didn't really help, but
Yeah, there's a I'm really into web comics, or at least I was in the last decade or so. I've kind of fallen off in the last couple of years, but Penny Arcade, which is huge web comic, is a writing or a creation duo by co-founders Mike Krahulik and Jerry Holkins. Jerry Holkins is the writer, and Mike Krahulik is the illustrator, but both of them write it.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, because you get to see they do videos into kind of their process, and they sit in a room, they write the joke together, and then Mike draws it.
So he does twice the work.
That kind of thing,
Yep.
Where sometimes it's just Mike Krahulik doing everything, depending on if he can. Now, there's other stuff that each of them do for the company, but for the comic itself, it's kind of one of those things. All right, so we're at 58 minutes. I have one final question for you.
Let's finish on a high note right here.
This is my favorite one. It's called what does SHIELD stand for?
SHIELD stands for Nobody Cares. SHIELD should have never been invented. It is the worst creation in comic books, movie, TV, should not have existed. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
That's the one.
I don't know. Don't care.
Yeah.
The only good thing that ever came out of SHIELD was Nick Fury, and they don't even like him in the comics anymore, so who cares?
Oh, dude, I prefer Nick Fury from the comics. It's so much better. It's so much better.
But anyways, I don't.
So do you want to know what the answer is?
Not really, but yes.
All right, I'll do it for the listeners then.
Superhuman.
So what does SHIELD stand for? Strategic Homeland Intervention, Enforcement, and Logistics Division.
Yeah, they don't do any of those things. They just follow superheroes around and make their lives worse.
Basically.
All right, well, that was actually a lot of fun. So, final tally, Justin is the big winner by half a point.
Did I win a thing?
12.5 out of 17 compared to my 12 out of 17. So, congratulations, you've taken the throne, which you needed because, let's be honest,
I didn't win the last game.
In that last game we did.
I lost big time.
I don't think you got any right, if I remember correctly. We tallied up, Brian tallied up for us. You didn't do great, but that's okay. Anyways, thank you for listening to Attempted Optimism podcast. Hopefully this has been enjoyable. As I've always said, we don't necessarily do it for the listeners. We do it for ourselves because it's a lot of fun for us to come up with fun things to do. So we hope to see you in our next episode, and we hope that iTunes finally lets us become a real podcast. Again,
Please!
Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week.